everybody. Thank you so much for hanging in here with me. When I tell you it's been an interesting month, my Lord, I thought that for certain I was going to be able to get in here last week. Hold on one second, you guys. Oh, okay. There we go. I'm just adjusting right now. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So, whew. Okay. I'm good. I'm exhausted, y'all. Y'all forgive me, okay? I am tired. I need to get some rest. But I'm hanging in here with y'all, so don't you worry. So this past week or past month in April has been super duper busy. I had a lot of performances to do. A lot of new music to learn. My studio, I guess I'm just going to catch up with y'all. My studio had a wonderful recital this past weekend. It was beautiful. It was phenomenal. It was so wonderful to be able to witness our students really flourishing. I was so excited to see their little faces. The little ones and the bigger ones, just everybody from 5 years old on up. And there were people who were doing everything from playing piano, to singing, playing guitar, playing the saxophone. I mean, they were in there just enjoying themselves. So first of all, too, I just wanted to say thank you to the facilities of the St. John's Cathedral of Jacksonville for opening your beautiful place of worship to us and allowing us to share the gift of music there, and allowing our students to be a part and really just watching them grow. That was just like the biggest part for me, honestly. And I think for them too. One of my favorite parts was looking at how the younger kids were looking up to the older students, our older musicians in our studio, and just being like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to be able to play for Elise too, right? And just seeing that they could see, hey, I can do this too, because they're doing it. It just really motivated me. And then to see, the older students, supporting them, it is just amazing. Hi, good evening. Welcome in. So yeah, it has been an interesting month. I tell you, I'm really happy though that we had a really good recital. The students had a phenomenal time. I mean, you could just see they were all about it. The parents were very happy as well, and we're all proud of them. I'm very happy. We're gonna be doing another recital the end of the year for the holidays, so that's gonna be really fun. And I think that this recital really motivated a lot of them to prepare even more for the holidays, because no one wants to play their holiday music and it not be what they want it to be, right? So I'm pretty sure that they are going to do it, because they did a phenomenal job this time. I can only imagine what they're going to do at the end of the year. So yeah. So thank you for listening to my catch up, because when I tell you, again, this this past month was busy as all get out. Like, one weekend I had 5 performances, and I'm like, oh, good gracious. So, and I have to say this is, and I guess it still connects here, with what we're doing, is taking care of yourself. It really does pay to do so, because had I not been taking care of myself, I wouldn't have been able to get through those 5 performances or the performances for the next week, the following week. So just, as a singer, and a mentor, I like to encourage vocalists, or any musician, but vocalists especially, to really take care of yourself, take care of your mind, take care of your spirit, take care of your soul, take care of your energy. Don't let anybody or anything drain on you. because it can really, take away from your gift and all that time that you put in, all that beautiful work to really mold and shape your creativity. So please, please, please take good care of yourselves, no matter what, no matter who. Take care of yourself first, okay? Because when it's gone, it's gone. It's hard to revive anything if it's drained out way too much. It's just sometimes you're just too far gone. All right. So, this evening, I wanted to talk about, how a lot of singers live with trapped voices and don't even know it. Yeah, like I even recently heard someone singing who would be a really good example. I'm not going to share any names, but just as an example, this young man whom I witnessed, performing, um, you could tell there was a lot of tension, in his neck. And he was just holding his voice, and he wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't let it be free for anything. He was just holding on it for dear life. And I wanted to tell him so bad, but I was just like, okay, if it ever comes to that point, I'll mention something to him. But to that point, you guys, we have got to take some time to really, evaluate ourselves and our voice, what we're doing when we are singing. There are so many people who will quickly say, I can't sing. I just can't sing. I can't sing. I'm not a singer, right? And a lot of that does come from, the fear of the unknown, not wanting to test boundaries or get to learn the voice or get to learn, more about what they are doing as a singer and how to fix those things. And so, it's great to have healthy habits, first of all, when you want to be a singer. If I were to, tell someone initially, like if they say, hey, I want to learn how to sing, what do you think are some great things for me to make sure that I'm doing to sustain my voice and to have a great long lasting career in voice? And one thing I would start off with is making sure that you know how to free your body. And when I say free your body, I mean of tension. No tension in the shoulders, no tension in the neck, no tension in the jaw or the root of the tongue, making sure that your body is in alignment and that you're not standing in such a position or awkward stance that causes more tension. And some people don't even realize that, but if you are holding your body in a particular position while you're singing because, you're in pain or you're trying, you're tired, number one, I tell you, don't sing when you're tired, or make sure you get rest before you go sing, okay? Because you will definitely not give your full voice, your all in all. And you could possibly destroy your voice. But, poor posture can really destroy your full opportunity of a beautiful sound. So you want to make sure too that your posture is in check. I would also recommend making sure that, you are warming up or doing scales, doing something to keep the voice moving. It doesn't even have to be an octave long scale, depending on what you're doing with your voice. Maybe you want to just do a 5-finger scale or a 3-finger scale, do 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 do, something like that, right? Ah, ah, right? Exactly. Which also brings me to someone who I look up to, Miss Cheryl Porter. I know you guys have seen her on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. I mean, she's amazing. I love her. She is a wonderful example of the type of warm-ups that you could do with your voice. I've seen where, Cheryl Porter has worked with students, and they're not always singing an octave scale. She might have them just sing a few notes, and then they'll go, up some more, something like that. Like it's just a few notes and you're creeping up and down the scale. Um, and if you are doing that, that's good enough to warm up your voice. You don't have to do a whole plethora or security board of exercise, right? Like you literally could just do a few notes, moving the voice around up and down the scale. That's fine, right? And I feel like that's even good for someone who's a beginner at singer too, as a singer too, because you're still, working on your ear. So don't put too much on yourself. And then another habit you're going to want to break away from is negative talk. Like, mental health is so important, you guys. It is extremely important. Make sure that you are not allowing anyone to filter in negative garbage into your life. And if they can't keep their trap shut, you know how to cut the cords. Do what you got to do, right? But even better than that, make sure that you are always constantly speaking positivity to yourself. Because as singers, as entertainers, as which we are, and creators, as which we are, we do deal with a lot of I don't like to say I deal, because honestly I ignore it, but I'm a Capricorn. But a lot of entertainers deal with, scrutiny from people or criticism. You're not always someone's cup of tea. Let me just be frank with you. You're never going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. Okay. I understand that I only appeal to a certain audience. Everybody does. Newsflash, right? So my job is not to recruit everybody in the world to like me. I don't want everybody to like me. That's too much work. I don't want everybody to like me. I don't want that job. Okay, that's not my job. But what my job is to really help other singers, learn how to sing and learn how to improve what they love to do. Hi, Victoria. Thank you for shouting out. And do it to the best of your ability. I love singing. That's my number one thing. I came into this world singing, honey. Wasn't nobody gonna stop me from singing, and they still haven't, and they won't ever. Okay, I love to sing, right? And so, you want to sing when you grow up? You can definitely sing. You sing now, right? As a matter of fact, I will make sure I have a boot camp that's going on right now. I have a 5-day singer boot camp that's going on this very second. Everybody's on day 4. Day 5 is tomorrow. It's a 5-day boot camp. I will start it over again next week, but I will put the link to the one that's next week, in the description after I'm done. And that way you can join us. But in the meantime, if you happen to go over to Facebook or any of my other videos, my more recent videos, you should see a link in there that's talking about our group. But just go to Facebook, because I think, you know what? No. Go to Facebook, because we actually did change our group location. I almost forgot about that. I don't want to send you to the wrong group. But go to joinersschoolofmusic.com, or you can look up 5-day singer bootcamp on Facebook, and just join in there that way, or anybody who wants to, okay? And then, because that's where we host our group. So you'd have to be on Facebook in order to be able to access the group. Even if it's just for taking the 5-day course or 5-day boot camp, okay? But yes, I'm teaching people how to sing in there, and we're having a lot of breakthroughs. I had one lady the other day who's so excited because she had been a choir singer at her church for years, and she had really been struggling with her voice cracking, not being able to hold her breath long, for, at least to be able to sing about a phrase or two. and she would just really grow tired, and she didn't understand why she was growing tired when she'd sing. And so we worked on some new skill sets to help her break past that. And she went to church that next week, and she was like, oh my gosh, it's like a whole new voice. I feel so free. This is amazing. Thank you. And I'm like, yay, it's working. It's working. So, you know, what better thing to do than to teach someone what I love to do the most, which is to sing, right? So thank you so much. I appreciate it. But yeah, so please join us. You know, that is definitely one way that I know that you would be able to receive vocal lessons from me. And I go in depth. I teach a lot of deep secret and tips that I've learned in the world of singing, that really helps to amplify your voice and your sound and free you of tension so that, you know, you feel much more comfortable to sing. Okay? Yes, yes. All right. So let's see here. I also wanted to make sure that I mentioned some daily habits that can be done to help break your voice free. So now I like to do, if you can imagine like a runner getting up in the morning and they're going to stretch, right? I like to do humming first, okay? And the reason why I like to do hums is because, first of all, it's one of those things that makes me feel whole, right? It almost reminds me of like when I'm in church and I'm singing and I'm humming to a good, you know, spiritual. It just really resonates with me. You know what I mean? But you can hum to anything. It doesn't have to be, you know, Christian music. It could be anything that you enjoy, you feel comfortable with humming. You can create your own melody and hum that, right? But I love to hum because it also places my voice. Like it helps me to, should I say, direct my voice and find my resonance, and fine tune it and work throughout my registers from my chest, my mix, and my head voice. Okay. And oh, let me see. Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Victoria. Thank you for asking. I breathe a lot when I sing. How do I do high notes? Like without breathing a lot and not getting light with my voice. Oh, that's a really interesting question. So there's a lot of different perspectives about this. I'm going to break it down because when it comes to breath, a lot of people like to consider taking a deep breath. And that's not something that you need to do. You definitely don't want to fill your breath up to capacity, because then, you know, that it's the lungs will not be able to function for you to be able to breathe. There's also this part about the diaphragm in relation to the lungs that a lot of people do miss. And I think I might have mentioned this in some other videos, but I'm going to mention it again tonight, where, you know, a lot of people have a misconception of like where the diaphragm is. For some reason, they think that the diaphragm is right where your abs are. Like it's supposed to be like right in the center of your intestines, or like it's supposed to be like right behind the stomach. And I'm like, no, or in the front of the stomach in this case. And no, the diaphragm actually is a dome-shaped muscle. It sits underneath the lungs and it sits on top of your upper intestines and it goes down the spine and it lowers. And as it's lowering, it acts like a suction cup with the lungs, and it pulls the lungs so that your lungs are able to expand and inhale air. And I actually have a video. If you check out my diaphragm myths video, there is a video that I made where I actually give you full visual on this explanation as well. And I also teach more on it inside of my 5-day boot camp. So check into that as well. So I definitely would recommend, you know, watching that video so you understand how the breathing mechanism works for a singer. But I also would say this too: don't take in too much air. Doesn't matter how high of a note you want to sing, because you don't need that much air to hit a high note. Okay. And then you said, how do I hit high notes like without breathing a lot, and like not getting light in my voice? So physics. We're talking physics here, okay? So you have your two vocal cords and your air going through at a certain speed. Well, the first thing we really want to work on, though, is making sure that your chest voice, your lower registers are in check. Because as your larynx is tilting, as it's moving, we want to make sure that you're able to actually sing, very well and connected. Your breath is balanced. The speed of your air is balanced before we even start going into the head voice, okay? Because you're really playing a balancing act with your breath when you are singing, whether it's your middle voice, your mix, or your head, especially your head voice, okay? But because of this, it's something that's commonly overlooked, that a lot of people will try to say, oh, well, I can sing great down here, but I can't hit any notes up here. Well, usually when you can't hit any notes up here, it's because there's something down here in this region of your register that is not, it doesn't have a good foundation. Basically, you have a house that's about to cave in, because when you try to go up to the second floor, you start feeling the stairs start to creak like you're about to drop down, because the foundation is not stable. So when we're talking about building a voice that can sing light and high notes, or however, you want to make sure that your lower registers are balanced, and that you can sing with ease without breakage of voice, breakage of your voice and your air. I happen to be a spinto soprano, and a spinto soprano, we actually sing very heavy up here. However, I have the ability to sing light up there as well. And there are others who can too. But I would say this. I do know for a fact that by making sure that your mid and lower registers are strong, like your voice and your breath, your speed control of your breath as you sing is consistent, you are going to have an easier time singing high notes. That honestly is the trick. Now, there are things too that you want to consider, is your posture, making sure that your body is in alignment, making sure also that you're not manipulating any other part of your body. Like, you have where people will literally, like if they're trying to sing higher notes, they'll drop their jaw like this. And if you notice how when I was speaking just then and I went like that, I dropped my jaw too much. You heard my sound get cut off. It got muffled. And that was because my jaw was starting to move back, like as if I'm getting choked, right? And it is possible for you to then hinder the air that's coming through, and you can't send it up. So then you're going to have, this muffled sound, and then you're going to also add tension where the tongue root is, and then you won't be able to sing anything. So those are also other things that you want to consider. There's literally a phenomena of different reasons why people cannot sing high notes, but those are common reasons right there. I would mention, you look at, or if you want to work with me, we can look at and see what's going on, and help you improve your singing. Okay, thank you so much for asking that question. I love questions like that. Now, let's see. The other thing would be breath control practice. And we were just talking about this. Techniques to enhance your breath support, okay? So I love doing what I call the 4-4-4 breathing, or square breathing. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of square breathing before, but I would definitely, recommend working on meditation. These are like a 2-in-1 kind of thing. You can definitely work on meditation and breathing, working on the breath. And that way, this is one of those things where, if you are working on your breath and you can improve how well you're singing and calm your mind and your body, you would be in a great position, because you want to decrease tension so that you can breathe with ease. Anybody who has a lot of tension in their body, they're going to have a hard time breathing anyways. And so you want to slow the mind down, slow the effort of the body down, and let your body relax so that you can breathe easily. I find too, when I work with my voice students, if they come to me and they're tense or they're tired, we do these exercises, they slow down and relax. Because when they try to do them when they're tense, it literally does not do what they want it to do. Like they'll either be flat or they won't be giving like their all full voice. And and I can already detect, I'm like, you're tense. Stop. Let's meditate. In the middle of the voice lesson, let's meditate, right? And we'll meditate for like maybe 3 to 5 minutes to help them regulate. And then once they do that, get back on it and start singing. And then that's when they're like, oh my gosh, that sounds great. And I'm like, yeah. All you had to do was meditate and relax. That's all you needed, right? And then they can, of course, apply everything else that we're working on. So always remember that it's really important that, you take time to focus on what's happening with your body, your mind, because that does affect your singing. And then we have positive affirmations, being careful of what you tell yourself, like I mentioned earlier. You want to use encouraging statements to boost your confidence. Like I love looking in the mirror, or even before I even get out of bed, I lay in bed and I'll tell myself, you are beautiful. You are intelligent, you are capable of doing any and everything that you really want to do in life because you are a master. You master what you do. You are loved. You sound beautiful. You are a courageous person. Anything that, will motivate you and keep you whole and in a good energy, a good frequency. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to stay with. If you do that and you do it consistently, of course you're going to start believing it. You know what I mean? That is then your truth, and you live in your truth. You live the way you believe. You respond to things based on where your mindset is and how you believe and think. So, of course, that also applies to singing. It's part of your life, right? Singing for me is my ikigai. So it's the thing that I love to do. It's my passion. No one has to force me to go sing. I love singing no matter what, okay? And then also having a consistent practice schedule. Ooh, big one. Making sure that you set aside dedicated time for vocal exercises, okay? Now, I have had moments in the past where, I would witness people go into a practice room when I was in college or wherever, and they would practice for hours on end, right? And I would try to emulate the same exact thing. Oh, that was so hard for me to keep up with. It was. I'm like, I can't do this. This is just too much. I can't practice like this. They want you to stay right on a structured schedule. And for me, with the way that I am a butterfly, honey. I like to fly and enjoy life and, let's go practice, right? That's me. I don't like the rigid, man, you got to practice it. That's not how I am. So what I do, and I recommend this too, is practice in 15-minute increments. Or, hi there, good evening. Or, practice in increments of 5, 10, 15 minutes, however you need to do it, or 20 minutes. You can't get me to sit through a 2-hour rehearsal with myself like that. I just can't do it. Now, I will say this, because I have done it. And it's sporadic. It's not consistent. It's not. And the only reason why I would do it is because I really want to. Like, I literally have to be in a mood to sit down for an hour or 2 hours with myself to practice something like that. Now, in bigger environments, such as, like, say, for example, if I have a rehearsal with another group of people, well, I really kind of have no choice, right? I have to sit there and go through the 2-hour or 3-hour, 4 or 5-hour rehearsal. I have done that before. It is doable. But the good part is you're not the only one, so you get to take a break, right? And so, but for me as a singer, obviously sitting there singing for 5 hours straight, that would destroy the voice. So you don't want to do that. It's not good to do that anyway. So, be realistic with yourself. Don't push yourself so far that, you are uncomfortable even doing it. But that's why I say break it up in 15-minute increments. Practice for 15 minutes in the morning. Practice for another 15 or 20 minutes in the afternoon. Practice for another 15, 20 minutes, before dinner. Practice for another 15, 20 minutes, before you go to bed. I mean, before you know it, you'll have a whole hour or hour and a half in or whatever. You know what I mean? Just put something in. And because you put something in, you would be 10 times better had you put nothing in. So keep that in mind. It is possible to be consistent with your practice. You just have to do it in such a schedule that works best for you. Mindset shift. Ooh, this is a big one. So making sure, remember we were talking about beliefs, right? Like your belief system. You want to make sure, and I mean make sure, that you truly believe in yourself. You cannot attempt to do something so courageous without believing that you can actually do it. And I'm not even saying that being biased. I mean, it's obviously true. Yeah, I mean, woo! If you look at the climate of the world today, there are people, doing things that they believe that they can actually do, and they're doing it. And I mean, well, so I'll just leave that there for whoever understood exactly what I'm talking about. So if one can believe themselves to be in a position, qualified or not, and they're there, I mean, obviously there's something to it. So I believe that if you can believe yourself to being in a position, and I mean, it is clearly true. You can believe yourself to be in a space, or in a place or a position or in a certain type of work or job or field of experience. If that is something that you can honestly allow yourself to groom yourself into, which I honestly think is completely valid, go for it. Because what you believe is what you become. I remember when I used to have a hard time with singing in French. And I had a hard time singing in French at first. It wasn't because I couldn't do it. It was because I didn't believe I could do it. I can sing in Italian, I can sing in German, I can sing in Spanish. I've sung in Russian before. And heck, Russian, in my opinion, is harder than French. So I don't even know what the heck I was thinking. But but yeah, like I can sing in Latin, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I can sing all these other songs, but I haven't really put much into French. And it was because I didn't believe that I could do it, because I saw where, the Elysion was there. And I'm like, oh God, I'm singing the words and there's consonants in places that I would normally pronounce them in English. I can't say them in French. What the heck is this? And lo and behold, God bestowed upon me a beautiful instructor who taught me how to improve these things, and if they happen to be watching this video right now, they know I'm talking about them, and I thank them so much to have made it much more clear for me, because now I believe I can actually sing in French. I can speak and say things in French without hesitating, right? It's about having the tools that you need, and belief being one of those tools. So don't ever tell yourself that you can't do something that you really want to do, because if you ever, and I'll say this, being upfront, if you ever get yourself in a position where you feel like, hey, I just can't do this, my question would be, did you evaluate everything that is required for you to be able to do it? Like, did you really? Because most people who will tell themselves they can't do something, they have not done that evaluation. They have not looked to do a little checklist to see, okay, have I checked every box to make sure that I've done everything I could to assure that I could actually do this, right? So in my case, the first time, no, I didn't pay attention to that paper at all. I didn't pay attention to the checklist. But now that, I've had some more of experience, I understand, oh, wow, I really was not giving myself a fair chance. So now I can, because I am exploring, I'm learning more, right? And this is the age of education, free education, really more so than what you think. Take advantage of it. Don't ever tell yourself that you can't do or have something, because you really can. You actually can. Okay? Um Next would be um let's see here. Oh, boy, that was quick. That was really quick. I thought I had more on here. And for those of you who are new, by the way, I use my tablet. I put my notes and everything ready to go before I get on here to talk to you, because I want to make sure I come correct, okay? Because I don't have time to waste, and I want to make sure that I'm providing you with wonderful value that will help bless you so that you can move forward in excellence, okay? So does anybody have any questions? Any more questions about singing? I really appreciate that question from Victoria earlier. I love answering those kinds of questions. Let me see if I missed any other comments or questions. Because I love talking about the voice. I love teaching people how to sing and hit high notes. Or even just how to build their chest voice or their mix, you know. And those are, mainstream wise, the most popular parts of the voice is the head voice and the mix. Simply because we have singers that we hear like Mariah Carey or Ariana Grande, or who else is out there? Beyonce, right? She has all of those beautiful runs. She's classically trained, and I am like, yes, I love that, because that teaches people even more so. Like, she's literally that type of singer where I use as a form of encouragement to others to say, hey, look, if you really want to sing really, really good, go get some classical training, because people who are classically trained, like myself, can sing anything. Sing anything, right? If you are not classically trained, it's going to be harder for you to sing anything, to move your voice around. And that's just it. Like, if you can move your voice around, you have all the freedom. And you can stay in key while you're doing that. You know how to move your voice in key. Like, whether you're singing C major, G major, A flat major, D major, whatever, you could be singing in a minor key. If you know how to stay in that key correctly, because you've been classically trained, then it's going to be easy. That's the thing. And on that note, I love talking about ear training. And I actually am creating a music theory curriculum right now. So if any of you like to sing, or you play an instrument, or you want to learn how to write music, I would highly recommend that you look into my music theory course that will be coming out. I'll be releasing it soon. I'm still in the middle of recording. I've already put my curriculum together. I'm just recording it now. And you can check it out. And yeah. That would definitely, though, be a benefit, because I also go a bit into some ear training in there. And then I also will be doing an ear training course as well. You can't have the music theory without the ear training. It just doesn't make any sense. Right? Especially when I'm a voice teacher as well as a singer. And it's like, well, I want people to be able to do what I'm doing. And these are the tools that are necessary for you to get there. So, but anywho, let me know if you have any other questions about singing. I'm here to answer questions about singing right now. I'm going to be on here for just a little bit longer, and then I will be logging off, because guess what? Y'all, I've been working on 4 hours of sleep. Can you believe it? Just 4 hours of sleep. I need some rest. I really do. And here I am talking about, make sure you get that. Look, I'm telling you, and it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. But because normally I'm like, look, I need my 7 hours, 8 hours of sleep. Like, it's necessary, it's important. Oh, by the way, I just changed something a little bit in my office. I have my Elements of Music poster up here. I would recommend, by the way, having tools like this around as you are becoming more familiar with the voice so that you can learn about rhythm, texture, harmony, melody, timbre, tonality, dynamics, and form. Form is actually one of my favorite topics to talk about when it comes to teaching people how to sing. Why? Because form helps you as a singer remember your music. And it says form is the order and the arrangement of the parts of the music. And that's why that's so important. So, like, if you're learning a song, like you're learning how to sing a song, and you're like, oh, I can't remember this part, I can't remember that part, and blah, 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 blah. Well, form is basically, this is how I look at it, okay? It's like the detailed, when you look at music from the perspective of form, it's like you're taking the details of an essay and you're marking what each part or paragraph is about. Okay? That's what form is, basically. But there's more to it than that. This is just my perspective of how to explain form based on, writing in our, writing essays or whatnot. But if you know what happened in the first paragraph, then it's going to be easy to summarize what that is, and it's going to stick with you. You're going to be much more likely to remember what happened in that part of the essay. Might be able to remember it verbatim, right? Same thing with the second part, the third part, the fourth part, the fifth part, right? We're writing a full body essay. Well, in a song, if you are forgetting the first section of the song, think about what happened in that part of the song. Rhythmically, harmonically, lyrically. There's so many different ways, perspectives. Was there a key change? Was there a subdominant chord that was about to pivot us into a new key in the next section? Stuff like that, right? Those things stick out as, especially those of us who are musicians, who study music. We know those things, but I like to also teach that to our students so that they understand, hey, well, the key just changed right here. So I know that after I leave section A and I go into section B, there is a key change. So this is what's happening in that section, and this is why, because maybe it went minor because, that section might be a little bit more demented. Maybe there's some type of strange thought going on right there. Maybe there's some dissonance in there. You know what I mean? These are little key secrets and things that we achieve, we use to help us memorize our songs. Sometimes it's not always about a cool beat. You know what I mean? I love some good music. Don't play with me. I love good music. But what I'm saying is that there are crafty ways of memorizing music as opposed to just looking at it as in note to note to note. No one's going to ever remember it like that. You just forget that. Like, stop. When you're trying to learn music, stop trying to remember music by note. Stop trying to remember it bit by bit. That's why you're not remembering it, because you're trying to remember it bit by bit. Don't do that. Think about the phrase that you are singing. Think about the storyline. What are you trying to get from and go to, right? Does the song sound chilling or exciting, and why? What could harmonically be going on in that song, right? Or, does it sound depressing, or the whole story behind the song in itself makes a huge impact on memory, right? If you can remember to look at music from that perspective, it makes it so much easier to actually remember the song. Because then you know more about what the composer was explaining, and why they explained what they explained, when they explained it, how they wrote it, the poet who they, maybe the person who composed the music is not the poet, right? There's so many different elements to look at. You have musicians who will see a poem and they'll be like, ooh, I like this poem. Let me put some music to this. It happens every day, okay? that's how a lot of music gets written anyways, right? You have people who are more lyricists than they are composers. They can't write music, but they can write poetry. They can write lyrics, right? And then same thing the other way around. Some people, they can't write lyrics to save their lives, but they can compose some music, right? And I actually used to be that way where I could not I couldn't always how should I say it? I needed the instrumentals first, and then I would write the lyrics to it. That's what kind of a composer I have been. But then I started taking formal music theory class, and once I got into doing like 4-part writing and different things like that, I started really understanding the language of music even more, and how you can use it to manipulate emotion and draw and pull in emotion to the music. That right there, I felt was a success tip for being able to write music, period. Because, if you are just writing lyrics, that's great, but how do you bring upon the emotion to be real if you don't implement the language of the actual music? So they both go hand in hand. You need them. And it's like, well, then when do I do what I need to do, right? Like, when do I make the song sound this way or that way? And then that's when you got to go into learn about chord families, which are fun, by the way. But I don't know the creator's name. I need to look it up. Maybe I'll tag her in the video, or tag her video in here so you can go watch it. But if you're into writing music, I would definitely go watch her video, chord families. Look at it. If you type in chord families in YouTube, it should pop up. But she has like a really creative way of explaining that, and how you can understand progressions. So go check it out. But anywho, does anybody on here, by the way, because I'm oh my goodness, it's after, well, it's almost 10:30, y'all. I'm in Eastern Standard Time, by the way. But yeah, it's getting kind of late. I'll stay on here for a few more minutes. But does anybody have any questions? Let me know. I will answer them as long as they are related to today's topic. Anybody having any problems with singing out there today? Maybe tension in their sound? Let me know. Oops. Hold on one second. It is getting late, y'all. But I will stay on here for just a few more minutes to see if anybody has any more questions for me. Especially since I hadn't been on here for about 2 weeks. I apologize, y'all. Again, please forgive me. And the only reason why I wasn't on here this Wednesday, oh my gosh, my sweetie, my little baby girl, she had the flu. So I had to doctor her up at home. So please forgive me. I know I usually come on Wednesday mornings for Worthiness Wednesdays. But you know what? I'm also considering doing, because I actually do have this time available. Maybe I should come on here on Thursday evenings instead, or do both. I don't know. I have my morning people who like to come on in the morning on Wednesday, so maybe I should do both. Come on here on Wednesday mornings and come here on Thursday evenings. You let me know. Post in my comment section and let me know, or go to my community, my online community. Oh, so yeah, by the way, so today is day 4 of my 5-day boot camp for singers. Look, make sure you come on and register for this online course. I've been doing this since the beginning of April, and I love it. It is so much fun getting to see a lot of you all on there and performing. Those of you who have signed up, have registered for that course, for that boot camp, please, if you know anybody who would love to come, invite them too. It's free right now. Now, I know at some point it won't be free. So get it while you can when it's free. Or while it's free. But what we're doing in there is we're really going through a lot of fundamental basics, helping, people to establish, great breath support so that they can actually sing. I'm sharing tips on there to help you be able to develop your voice beautifully. And there are people who have already, said, hey, I can already sing within the first few days of working with you. Can you teach me more? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can. Let's do it. Right? So come on and check us out. I'm doing the group on Facebook. So if you don't have a Facebook, I would just recommend I can figure out something. Reach out to me at our email, adminsupport@joinersschoolofmusic.com, and say, hey Irma, this is one of your viewers on YouTube. I heard that you have the 5-day singer boot camp. Can you send over the link so that I can participate in the boot camp as well? And I'll be like, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, go ahead and just holla at me. Send me an email. You can even message me in the comment section in this video too, and I'll get the information from you so I can get you over there and get you signed up. Okay. And the website also, my website is www.joinersschoolofmusic.com. So you can go on there as well and register to the site, and then I'll be posting about it anyways in our emails, so you can also access it that way. So I'll make it easier for you that way too. Okay. But if you're on Facebook, go ahead and look for our group 5-day singer boot camp. Not singers, singer. 5-day singer boot camp. Go ahead and register on there. And then that way you'll be able to get notifications as to when we get started. Looks like this time around, the evening class was very popular with a lot of people. So I'm not opposed to doing a daytime class, but it looks like a lot of people really enjoy the evening class. So I'm going to do the evening class again. Okay. And we start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our boot camp. So let me know. Come on in and join. If you have any questions about the boot camp, I'll be happy to answer those as well. Just let me know. In the meantime, in between time, I'm getting ready to go log off, y'all. It is 10:31 p.m. and I'm exhausted. Woo! And I have some rehearsing to do. So I need to get some rest so that I can rehearse effectively and get my music in this noggin and in my heart. They got to be together. All right. But yeah, so listen, I will be back on here soon. I even might, well, I don't want to make any promises that I cannot keep. So I'll just say it like this. Keep an eye out on any days that I plan to come on here, like posting, because something that I'm actually working on with my schedule is being able to post more frequently, come live more frequently. And that's because I noticed that when I come on here more frequently, more of you show up and actually get the help that you need and that you want. And that's a beautiful thing. So invite your friends, invite your family, invite them all. Tell them to come on over here and join Irma on Voice Launch Masterclass, as she is teaching us about how to sing. And she's offering us a free 5-day boot camp for singers to learn how to sing. It's on Facebook. Look it up. 5-day singer boot camp. Okay. And you can also go to my website and register on my website, and you'll receive an invitation anyways in my email list. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, you guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining me on here this evening. It's definitely been a pleasure talking to you, as it always is. Never a dull moment. I love you all, and I appreciate you very much for all of your support and always being there. Seems like there's always someone on here watching, so I really appreciate your dedication. And I really would like, you guys got me thinking, I would really like to do a live masterclass at some point, like a huge event to invite you all to come to, where we can meet live and in person to do vocal coaching. So we're going to work on some things. We have that as an option. I just got to figure out how to get it, all those logistics taken care of. So that will be done as well. Okay? All right. Peace and love and happiness. Take care of your mind, body, and soul, your voice, your spirit. Take care of yourself, sending you all good energy, right? And I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Good night. Good night.